Welcome. This is Kevin and Neil with Injured Gadgets. Today we're going to be doing a full rundown of how to operate a grip laser machine. It's been heavily requested and it is our favorite machine, so we have one set up today. This guy's been with us to every trade show we've been to, so we know it's a good machine. For starters, what you want to do is you want to grab the USB stick that comes with these machines, stick it to your computer, then go to your desktop, right click anywhere, hit new folder, and then drag and drop all the files from that USB onto that new folder. Now I've already done that with this folder up here, so we're going to go ahead and click it. You do want to double click Universal Drive just to make sure the computer understands the functions of the laser machine. Once you have that downloaded, go ahead and go to software, scroll down to Nissan.exe, and you'll see the software come up. Alright, now that we have the software open, we're going to want to go to the left hand side and hit draw rectangle, and you're going to want to draw a small rectangle right around here. Now you want to make sure that at this point the laser machine is plugged up, turned on, both buttons for the galvanometer and the power supply are pushed in, and that a USB connection is made between the laptop or computer and the laser machine itself. Now that we have the small rectangle drawn, you want to go ahead and hit F1, and as you can see here, there is a rectangle right here. It's being displayed. The F1 laser, which is the red light one, it's completely harmless. It's not going to do anything to you. But before we do anything, we want to grab this arm, stick it out, and hit autofocus on the laser machine. Now, what this is going to do is the head of the laser is going to rise all the way up and then all the way down until the green light turns on for the focal length indicator. Once the green light is on, the laser knows exactly what the height of what it's going to be engraving is. We can go ahead and tuck that back in, and we're going to go back to the software. We're going to hit stop, we're going to hit mark, and then we're going to press F1 again. Now it's kind of hard to see on camera. The square looks fairly dialed in, but it could be slightly better. So what we're going to do is press F3. We're going to go to the red light settings. We're going to hit red light preview again, and we're going to fine tune where exactly it's at. So it might be a bit hard to see on camera, but from this I can tell that the laser is just a pixel left of the square we cut out. And left and right being x-axis, up and down being y-axis. So by default from factory it came at -2.0. We're going to go to -1.8 and hit red light preview again. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but the sides are a lot brighter than they were before. That is because the red light laser is now hitting where we've already engraved. So it's a lot brighter, it's a little bit easier to see. Now we just have to do the same for the y-axis. Which, let me look again at it. It looks to be just slightly north of where it should be. We want to move it down just a little bit. So let's go from -0.25 to -0.2. Oh, that's the opposite of what we want to do. Let's go to -0.03. There we go. Now we have a nice and bright laser, and we know that the machine is well adjusted. So we're going to hit OK, press F1 again, just as bright as it was a second ago, and we're good to go with this step. Just to confirm that everything is good to go, we can draw a second rectangle, press F2, press F1, and it's nice and bright and red. Alright, now that we've done the red light calibration, we've got two iPhone XR back housings here. Both of them are the exact same color, neither one of them has been lasered yet. So what we want to do is we want to grab one of them, line it up perfectly with the top and left side of this bracket. There we go. Then we're going to grab this arm out, stick it right up here, and we're going to hit autofocus. You can also hit rise until you see the green light flicker, go a little bit past it, then hit go down. If you want to save yourself a little bit of time, you're only really shaving off 15 seconds, but the option is there to do that if you want to skip that. Now that we see that the green light's on, let's go ahead, fold this back out. We know that the laser is now calibrated to this height, so we're going to go over here to open. We're going to select iPhone XR, and we're going to go over here and disable red light outline. Now, as you can see, it's going to be a little bit off from where it should be. For example, this laser is a few centimeters north of the bottom of it. Now, keep in mind, when I say bottom, I'm referring to down here. When I say left, up here. When I say top, up here. So with using the arrow keys, what I like to do is first start on the left-hand side, and you want to adjust the laser to the point where it's right at the frame, but not touching the frame. You want to make sure it doesn't touch the frame, or else it will leave marks. Once the left side's done, we're now going to be doing the top side. We want it right at the frame, but not touching. That looks good. And now that the left and top side are done, what we want to do is go in and make sure that the bottom and right side are good to go. Now, usually out of the box, this isn't a very common issue, but we are using specifically this software because we know that this issue exists on this machine specifically. So what we want to do is we want to grab the right-hand most side of this model, and we want to squeeze it in just a little bit and press F1 again. Looks like we've gone a bit way too far. Let's grab this, stretch it out a bit more. That looks fairly dialed in. It's right on the glass but not touching the frame, which is good. And now we're going to do the same thing for the bottom portion of the back glass. So it's too far out. We need to stick it in just slightly. Let me do it a little bit more. Just about. Need another pixel. And that's perfect. Alright, so now that we have the file stretched, we can hit red light outline, hit F1, and it shows you everything that the laser is going to be doing. For most stores, this is the step where you want to go ahead and start doing the engraving. One thing I like to do is, once you have the file selected, if you go down here, bottom left, hit delete, it'll break down every part of this cutout, and you can click on the individual parts, then press F1, and it shows you exactly where everything's going to be. For example, the dock connection assembly, the NFC code is going to be right there, and then we have the camera right there. Now, it is slightly on the frame of the camera. The easy fix, once you have the red light open, just use the arrow keys and move it around so that it's not touching. Is it good on that side?
Yes, sir.
Nice. All right. So now that it's perfected and not touching the camera bezel at all, we're going to hit stop. We're going to select everything. And you can either hit Control G or go to the top where it says Group. Once it's grouped, you can either hit Control H or go to the top where it says Fill, hit OK, then F1 again, and it'll give us a full breakdown. Now, this iPhone is ready to go. One last thing we want to do before we start. Me personally, I like to run 2000 millimeters a second. It's a nice speed where it really gets in there and digs out all the adhesive. Power 95, that's normal. Kilohertz, most lasers come anywhere from 20 to 30 kilohertz. I don't recommend you mess with the factory settings for this one. Same for opening delay, off-light delay, end delay, and corner delay. Whatever the factory set it to is usually the recommended setting. But now that everything's ready, we're going to give it a check one last time, make sure that it is not hitting the frame anywhere around. And once it all checks out, we're going to hit the F2 key or the mark key down here, and we can see the laser start doing its thing.
So generally this will take about 40 seconds to a minute and a half with the LS2, but this will definitely vary based off of your model and of course the strength of the laser itself.
Yeah, this grip laser being a 10 watt, it's not just a 10 watt, it's a very finely tuned 10 watt. Usually one pass is all you really need. It really gets in there. It really burns off that adhesive. What I personally like to do is once you've done that first pass and get all that glass off, go ahead with the same settings, hit F2, and once the glass is completely off, and it really likes to like borderline pulverize the adhesive so that you don't have anything left over in there.
You pretty much just brush it off at that point.
Perfect. All right. So that was 59 seconds on the dot. Compared to the original, you can see how much work the grip laser has done. I don't have my tools with me, but this back glass is fairly ready to be popped off. Once you get that first piece out, usually the rest of it just crumbles right off without any effort. But that's a video for another day. For now, if you have any questions, feel free to call in. Give one of us a chat for a bit. We can talk about this machine for almost hours. And we have quite a few laser techs here that know this machine in and out. And that'll be it.